Hello from Fargo, North Dakota.
There's still this sense of grittiness to it, which is what makes it kind of cool and edgy and fun to visit.
In 1940, Duke brought his entire band to Fargo, and the local artist wanted to recognize that bit of musical history here.
I feel like I've taken a trip back to the 1970s.
70s.
We are out on a bison safari here.
I think we do the fun stuff, making cheese and gelato.
Literally cow to cone, cow to table.
It's pretty awesome. We love what we do.
We're traveling to Carrington, Jamestown, and Fargo in this episode of Travels with Darley.
Whether you know about Fargo from the 1996 film, or just because it's the most populated city in North Dakota, chances are you're going to learn something new about Fargo and places to visit just outside in this episode of Travels with Darley. We're exploring North Dakota to get a taste of North Dakota's cultural roots through its food, nature, and the arts. We're starting about 2 hours northwest of Fargo in Carrington, a small town where birding and agriculture draw in travelers. I have my sights set on one of my favorite pastimes, eating ice cream and cheese. At Co Creamery, entrepreneur Maartje Murphy welcomes travelers to her family farm to see how cheese is made.
Ooh, this looks amazing.
And taste cheese and gelato right on site in a nod to her family's Dutch heritage.
Maartje, this is your grandfather?
Yes, yep. So that's my dad's dad. That's why we have Co Creamery. He started it all.
This is a true family business.
Yes, my husband and I and my mom kind of run the Co Creamery side of things, and then my dad and my brothers run the dairy side. So they think they do the fun stuff by milking the cows, but I think we do the fun stuff, making cheese and gelato.
Your family came over from Holland, and you come from a long line of dairy farmers. How do you like Carrington, North Dakota?
As you can see, it's a really small town, kind of in the middle of nowhere.
I didn't even see a town. Really.
Yeah. No, you look outside and you see some cows and trees and big open wide fields. All right, yeah, it's a little bit colder in here. So this is our aging room. So we age all our Gouda cheese from young to old. We have several different types of plain Goudas. And then we also make flavored Goudas. So we've made onion, garlic, chives, cumin, herbs de Provence, chipotle. It's kind of endless. That's kind of what I love about Gouda cheese. It's really versatile. I have two different types of cheeses here. A young Gouda, which is really mild and buttery in taste. It's aged for about 8 weeks.
That's really good. It reminds me of a Monterey Jack in the consistency. It's super buttery.
Yeah.
Lots of good flavor, though.
And then we have our old Gouda, which is aged 12 to 18 months. As it ages, it becomes more nutty, more caramel-like. The consistency gets a little bit drier, a little bit more crumbly.
It is closer to a Parmesan, also in the consistency. I like it. These little white dots are crystals?
Those are protein crystals. So as it ages, the protein crystals start to form and you get the nice crunch in the old Gouda.
Gelato?
Let's do gelato. So we have a few different flavors here. Blueberry cheesecake, which is a cheesecake gelato. We make a house-made graham cracker crumble, blueberry sauce.
I love that graham cracker crunch. Your gelato is really creamy.
Then we'll try the sweet yogurt Amarena cherry, which is a gelato, but we put some yogurt in there to give it a yogurty taste.
This one is healthy.
And then we swirl Italian Amarena cherries through.
I like the yogurt.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of a tart punch to it.
Yeah. You know, the yogurt flavored gelatos are really popular in Europe, so you probably won't find this in many places in the U.S.
You probably won't find this in many places in the U.S.
Yeah.
Because this is such a unique concept to be able to come to a farm and really see the cheese and the gelato made fresh right here. Literally cow to cone, cow to table.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We love what we do.
To add to my roadside attractions list, I'm stopping in Jamestown, North Dakota to see Dakota Thunder, the world's largest buffalo monument at 26 feet tall and over 60 tons. Jamestown is also home to the North American Bison Discovery Center and a unique safari. I'm going bison viewing with Ilana Xinos.
Normally, you would obviously not want to be getting close to bison in general, correct?
No, and we
We do not want to do that. And if you see them in a different setting, you'll want to be quite far away from them. Not all bison are going to be this calm around a truck with humans. I'd never get out and try to pet them or touch them while they're here. We respect their space, and they seem to respect us back. And it's when, animals start losing their respect or their fear, their flight or fight or flight.
My goodness. Yeah, this is a safe way to see the bison.
They're prey animals. They're going to be more scared. If I open that door, like as not, they're going to just all disperse because they don't want me to be in their face. They're very athletic. They can run 35 miles an hour. They can jump 6 foot from a complete stand.
Here in town, you all had actually the world's largest buffalo statue before you got the herd of bison. And now you have the museum as well.
We do.
And they started this as a sort of a roadside attraction, which it is.
Right. In the 50s, Harold Newman was a local entrepreneur and leader, and Newman?
That's my last name.
Harold Newman, maybe a relation, decided that they would erect a large buffalo statue to lure people who are on the interstate to come in to see the town.
And it worked.
Early 90s, maybe the late 80s, a group of business leaders in the town thought, wouldn't it be cool to have a herd of bison grazing under the world's largest buffalo? And about the same time, the National Buffalo Association was looking for a home for their artifacts and their Buffalo Hall of Fame exhibit. They were able to develop this idea of having an interpretive center, which became the museum. The bison are great.
Pretty wild.
We love having all of them. And anyone who comes out here and sees them, I think, kind of like lowers their blood pressure. You don't think so. People are scared sometimes about bison, but when they realize how in tune to their habitat they are, it is pretty relaxing just to see them do their thing.
Next stop, Fargo, North Dakota. You may have seen the film where Frances McDormand stars as Marge Gunderson. If you're a fan, you might want to add Marges Diner to your list.
This is named after Marge from
the movie Fargo.
Oh.
Some speculate it's named after my grandmother. It is not. It is named after the cop in the movie Fargo.
Owner Dan Herder meets me for brunch.
I have to say, I feel like I've taken a trip back to the 1970s.
70s. So we kind of said, if Marge were to scrape together enough money to open her dream diner, what would it look like? And this is what we threw together. Kind of 70s kitsch was what we landed on. We wanted things that you might remember seeing in your mom's house, your grandma's house, maybe even your great-grandma's house. We've got the needlepoint, the bundt pans, casserole dishes, more than you can count. Cookie jars up on the walls. We have 225 unique salt and pepper shakers. We got all of those from one woman that lives here in town. She collected them most of her life and was downsizing, and she's been in a few times to check them out. It's always fun for her to come in and visit those.
That's so nice. Yeah. You have the country fried steak, and I have this French toast. Tell me how this was prepared.
We bake the cinnamon rolls in-house fresh each morning, proof them, bake them. Once they're done, slice them up, batter them, and fry them on the flat top like you would traditional French toast, but just got a little something extra with that cinnamon in there.
Yeah, double cinnamon sugar good.
And topped with icing, of course. You gotta top it with icing.
Gotta have the icing.
And I went with ultimate Midwest comfort food, our country fried steak. It was just kind of a quintessential dish that we felt needed to be on a diner menu.
I love French toast, and I love cinnamon rolls, so this is a great combination.
Who doesn't love French toast and cinnamon rolls?
Well, cheers. Here's to Marge.
Cheers to Marge.
Fargo is North Dakota's largest city, and a great way to discover Fargo's downtown is on your own 2 feet. I'm taking a walk to discover Fargo's vibrant public art scene with LesleyAnne Buegel, starting with a mural that's been designed with kids in mind.
Shop right here. This used to be a really ugly, crusty wall, and we have long identified it as a spot where we wanted to put something public and colorful to engage with kids and families. And all of the flora and fauna here are local to the Red River Valley, which is why we call it Valley Alley. But we wanted to make it fun and colorful and a little bit cartoony so that the kids would be inspired and sucked into it.
Recently revitalized downtown buildings and local artists have helped spur growth and a reimagining of Fargo's downtown area. Checking out the murals is a fun way to experience Fargo's history and pop culture.
Yay. So you are the artist.
I am
The artist known as
Lauren Starling.
Okay.
Yes.
You're player number 2.
I am player number 2.
Okay.
We just were like, let's make something fun and friendly and interactive. And we did not know it was gonna blow up like it did.
Lauren Starling was one of the artists who created the hashtag Fargo Mario Wall, which became popular through social media posts, drawing in more young people to explore this alleyway in downtown Fargo and making Fargo's alleys strolling zones. I wasn't surprised that cow print accents another downtown alley.
My vision for this one came to me one day, and I just thought to myself, I really want to do a cow print wall.
Cows in North Dakota. We've definitely seen our share of a few.
I drove around all night and I found a white wall that seemed ideal. And it just being such a great backdrop for photos and kind of urban texture to the city, it's been really, really embraced by all the people. And there's tons of people tagging me all the time, taking pictures in front of it. And it's just really fun.
Culture and music history are also on display in public art downtown, including a portrait of climate activist Greta Thunberg.
Shane Belkowicz is a Bismarck native photographer who has been bringing wet plate photography back into the world, and he has done over 3,000 portraits of native and indigenous peoples from North Dakota. When Greta came to visit and support the protests against the Dakota pipeline, he took this portrait of her. He wanted to install this large piece in Bismarck, but there was some controversial threats of vandalism, and so decided not to do that there. The citizens of Fargo spoke up and said, we want that piece, and so he brought it all the way over here. So in 1940, Duke brought his entire band to Fargo, and right here on this site used to be the Fargo Crystal Ballroom. They had a performance there that was electrifying, recorded straight to vinyl. The local artist who painted and designed that mural, Jeff Knight, wanted to highlight and recognize that bit of musical history here and inspire people to wonder why there's a Duke Ellington mural out in this alley.
And that's the point of these murals. And traveling and looking at things in general to make you curious and to look things, hopefully look things up and want to ask why.
Another great place to view art and learn about North Dakota's heritage and history is at the Plains Art Museum, where Steve Jacobs takes me on a tour.
This building was built in 1904. It was originally an international harvester plant for producing and selling tractors. What we did, we maintained the heritage structure on the exterior and effectively built a museum on the insides.
It's beautiful, and I love seeing all of the wood and the different textures and materials used, and also this really striking mural.
Yeah, this is fairly important. This is definitely the largest piece in our collection. It's by North Dakota artist James Rosenquist. It's called the North Dakota Mural. It incorporates a lot of elements that represent the state. Agriculture, energy production, oil, has the Great Seal as well as the state bird. And the skull and TV structure represents Native American history that we have in North Dakota. This gallery features work by an artist by the name of Gerald Cornier. He is a teacher out in Bismarck. Gerald's work touches on Native American history, culture, and tradition, sort of a critique of the Edward Curtis photographs, the stage photographs that were taken around the turn of the century, and Gerald portrays the culture as vibrant, and each one of these geometric designs represents a belief, a tradition, a ceremony, all in graphic elements.
I love seeing all of the horses running through this exhibition.
Yeah, the horses are a nice detail. They add a bit of dynamism to the exhibition, and you'll notice that their colors represent the 4 directions that are important in Lakota culture. So this exhibition features works that were produced during the Northern Plains Summer Art Institute. Every year, students can apply to be part of this institute. They learn from artists, and this is the end result.
I think it's neat that you all are doing so many programs that help people express themselves and feel like they're welcome here.
Absolutely. We're trying to break down those walls and make the museum a place for everyone to be a part of.
Many local entrepreneurs are revitalizing buildings in downtown Fargo and working to continue to share their heritage and history through design and hospitality ventures, like Chad Turstrip's Prairie Kitchen.
Chad, you all have transformed the space because previously it was 2 other businesses.
Correct, yeah. It was originally a creamery, and then it became a laundromat. So we get stories from people that come in here saying, hey, I remember doing my laundry here when I was in college. So
I love it.
Yeah, but we bought the building about 6 or 7 years ago. It was in pretty bad shape, but we did a lot of work on the inside with kind of the Nordic design. So we just tried to build a space that was, you know, just really representative of all the cultures up here in the upper Midwest.
Your place is but one example of a lot of buildings that have been revitalized recently here in Fargo.
Yeah, Fargo has really upped their game, so to speak, in the last 15 to 20 years to really make it, you know, more up to date and just a more fun place to live and work.
I see Fargo Brewing there, and it's right across the street as well. So easy access to get more local beer here.
We do, absolutely. So it's not much of a hike for us to get another keg if we need one.
I was going to say, if you run out of beer, you're just like, hey, guys.
I know, just a quick phone call and a quick dolly ride over, so.
Well, I'm excited to see what comes out of that wood-fired grill over there.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. That was something we wanted to do right from the get-go. You know, nothing beats something on the grill rather than a flat top. And then our chef team is just absolutely incredible. They put together weekly specials that, you know, draw upon the heritage of the Midwest.
And we're talking foods that are Midwestern comfort foods here.
Yep, exactly.
I have the salmon that has been wood-fired over white oak with this dill sauce. And
yep, I have the beef stroganoff. Yeah, one of our other popular dishes, house-made noodles.
Perfectly seared on the outside, moist on the inside. I can taste that dill and also a little bit of the white oak. It has a lot of great flavor. This is a perfect Scandinavian salmon.
Yeah, perfect.
Here in Fargo.
Right.
But I would have to say, this is quite the elevated Midwestern comfort food.
Yeah, we try and play on, you know, what Grandma used to make, but then, you know, raise it up a level.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Another example of this sustainable revitalization is at Hotel Donaldson, which served as a fraternal lodge and hotel for more than 100 years, before recently being renovated into a boutique hotel, keeping historical elements as part of the design. Tree Mogard takes me around to check out the design elements and local art in a suite.
You've done an interesting job with the design. This is a historic building, and I can see you have saved the brick, and there's some old wood beams. You can tell that you have taken the history and the historic elements and melded them with the new.
The old hotel had 60 rooms, and there were a couple of bathrooms that all the rooms shared. Now it was completely gutted, remodeled to the 17 rooms. Each one of them is unique. It features a different regional or local artist. And actually, this room used to be a 2-story ballroom where they would have their dances and sit around and smoke their cigars or whatever they did.
Today you can stay in a room where they would have been dancing and drinking and having a good old time here in Fargo.
Yeah, this would have been the room.
Downstairs, locals and hotel guests frequent the Blarney Stone Irish Pub, which serves authentic Irish fare.
Ordering something very traditional and something very strong to cap off this little tour in Fargo. So I've got your traditional bangers and mash, classic Irish sausage, but also creamy macaroni and cheese, a little garlic, bacon, creamy cabbage. So we got a little dairy theme happening here in North Dakota, not surprising. All right, let's try this one. It's really good. Sausage is really well seared on the outside. Garlic mashed potatoes are creamy. Mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, I'm a connoisseur, so doing a good job here.
Another newly designed property tying in Fargo's local history is Jasper Hotel, where Kylie Brish shows me around.
So Jasper is named after Jasper B. Chapin. He was the 3rd mayor of Fargo and really truly the founding father of Fargo. He was known for building tent hotels and saloons along the railroad. So he was truly an entrepreneur. So it was very successful for him. Obviously, you know, heavy railroad ties to the Midwest and North Dakota and Fargo particularly. So this is a picture of the Continental Hotel, which was his hotel, and this was in 1880. when Jasper was in his heyday. So the Continental Hotel was just a couple blocks away from where we are today. So really kind of tying into the rich history that Jasper brought to the Fargo area.
That's so cool. So this area has always been a hub. It really like makes you think about that time period and the saloons and the hotels and how different it is today, but still downtown is like where you're coming to go out.
While Fargo is in such a resurgency right now and revitalization, there's still this sense of grittiness to it, which is what makes it kind of cool and edgy and fun to visit.
Just as Jasper Chapin's entrepreneurship helped build up the city of Fargo, Jasper Hotel's welcoming common spaces and Nordic-inspired restaurant is helping to pull in travelers and locals alike to stay and play downtown. If you visit here, you'll likely run into entrepreneurs working on their laptops or local businessmen and women hosting meetings here. I'm stopping into the hotel's Rosewild restaurant to have a meal with Chef Jordan Hayes, prized for his use of local ingredients.
We're really proud of our Nordic inspiration and our Nordic heritage. So we are hearth-driven, so a lot of the stuff that we do goes over wood fire, and we do our best to represent the Nordic settlements with the representation of preservation methods, the local seasonality, and tying it all together with the Midwestern palate.
So a lot of the products that you're incorporating are sourced from local farmers.
We're really fortunate to have such a tight network of local community farmers. So we do our best to stay within season, and just to have a chance to work with these kind of ingredients is something we have to really let those sing.
What have you created for us today? Because this chicken looks great, and I haven't really seen pasta exactly like this.
This chicken is hearth-fired, so it's got a nice smoky character to it. Charred baby carrots, pearl onions, and fresh English peas for the seasonality. And then there's the salsa verde over the top, like a chimichurri, so really bright, but with mint and green onions. And then over here we have what we call the Varsop raviolo. Ravioli is the plural, so we've got one really large raviolo, and inside is a blend of local mushrooms that have been charred and sauteed with a little bit of ricotta. And then outside are some of those same mushrooms, but the tail end of the spring with some favas and English peas.
A lot of good fresh flavors here. And I love the taste of the wood-fired mushrooms.
If I had to describe it, it's a word I don't use very often, but I'd call it unctuous. Just a small thing for the tourists around here that we find really cool is there's a wooden life-size carving of Francis McDormand in the Fargo Theater.
What's another local lore you can give me?
The original wood chipper from the movie Fargo is at the Fargo Visitors Center with the signed copy of the script from the Coen brothers.
Huh, I don't know, it sounds interesting. Well, thanks for feeding me here in Fargo.
Absolutely, I'm so glad you came. We hope to see you again.
I love a good food hall, especially one where you can eat and shop local. At Fargos Brewhala, Darren Monplaisir, one of the founders of a brewing company with space inside, takes me on a tour.
The idea was to have kind of a one-stop shop. There's nothing like it around here. There's nothing like it anywhere near here. And we kind of filled the place with our friends, and it's all locally owned businesses. And it's all people that we've worked with before in some other kind of manner. And we just kind of shoved everybody in the same building. And there's really something for everybody in this place. And if you can't find something to entertain you in this place, you're really not looking hard enough. Yeah, and then when you're already full and yet you're feeling already terrible about things you've eaten today, then you walk by Nicole's Fine Pastries, and they're almost always pulling fresh chocolate chip cookies out of the oven. And the dog barking biscuits next door to Nicole's Fine Pastries. After a beer or two, the dog treats really start to look like a regular pastry, and you have to be careful.
Got a little confused because I'm looking at, again, amazing pastries. I was like, wow, two competitors head to head. And then I looked and I thought,
yes.
Oh no, just kidding. One is dog treats and the other one, like high-end fancy, like cannolis for dogs, etc. I have to say, I can get down with that because I think it's amazing that, we have dogs going through here, we've got families and people, and it's a space for everyone.
It really is, and that was kind of the intent from the beginning, was to get as many people in here as possible. I mean, when we had the brewery, it was, a lot of people are coming in for beers, and there's a few things to do to try to make it family friendly. I think this place, it absolutely is family friendly now, for sure.
You just encapsulated what's so great about life. Good food, good people, and that's pretty much a lot of it.
Yeah, it's a cool place.
Yeah, it is cool. Cheers. Here in Fargo and throughout North Dakota, we've gone beyond the ordinary and found some pretty awesome hidden gems that locals will recommend if you only take the opportunity to chat them up.
I'm Darley Newman, and thanks so much for joining me here in North Dakota. And thanks for watching. We've had a great time exploring North Dakota, from sunflower sealer. Yeah.
When this is the end product, you can't complain.
I know. Sometimes I get tired of trying all the amazing foods I have to try on the road.
All right.
Wait for that car.
Mine actually has booze in it, so we can't do too many tastes.
I hear this is a safe way to see the bison.
It's safe.